Welcome to Accommodate This. Despite what you may have heard, autism is not a superpower. Some people love to say it is because they think it's empowering to do so, but I'm here to tell you it's a perfect example of toxic positivity. That's right, toxic positivity. Just because something sounds positive doesn't mean it's beneficial. And the opposite is true. Just because something is negative does not mean it's wrong or bad. Let's illustrate this. Negative but beneficial. Think of admitting a mistake or taking a step back to gain perspective. It feels negative, but it yields a beneficial result. Positive and beneficial. This is genuine support and actual inclusion. Negative and toxic. Bullying and shaming. Positive but toxic. This is the superpower narrative. It sounds nice, but it's a trap. Maybe it's not always cut and dry. Sometimes you're in a positive, beneficial position, but to grow, you have to make a choice that feels negative by comparison. Like demanding an accommodation that makes people uncomfortable. You have to weigh the pros and cons. But most people weigh things incorrectly. They only ask, what are the pros and cons if I do X? But you have to examine the opposite as well. What are the pros and cons if I don't do X? Looking at both forces you to realize that the status quo, this superpower nonsense, isn't actually serving you. This narrative does more to hurt autistics than it does to help us. For one, it puts us on a pedestal, and the higher you are, the harder you fall. Placing us on a pedestal is inherently more dangerous than just helping us stand firmly on our own ground. Secondly, it raises expectations to an impossible level. Suddenly, those of us who have no obvious savant talents are seen as underperforming. It erases our struggles and gives people an excuse to shame us when we do ask for support. After all, if you have a superpower, why aren't you just trying harder? People say this is meant to instill pride. Well, you know what would instill pride? Being successful. Being accommodated so we can be successful. Autistics face significantly higher rates of suicide, depression, and anxiety. Do you really think that's the result of not having enough self-esteem? No, it's the result of constant bullying, being told we are inappropriate, and being reminded that we don't fit into society. Gaslighting us by telling us our autism is a superpower isn't a magical tonic that fixes all of that. It's a farce that allows society to avoid taking accountability for its role in disabling us. Now, I'll give them this. Autistics tend to have superb pattern recognition. We see details others miss or dismiss. But that's not a superpower. That's awareness. Other people could be this observant, but they choose not to be. They tell themselves they're focusing on the positive to ignore details that they don't want to accept. Take a work meeting, for instance. You notice a tiny discrepancy in a spreadsheet, a pattern that shows a project will fail in 6 months. You warn them. They call you negative and tell you to be a team player. 6 months later, the project crashes and they say, "Wow, you're like a psychic. What a superpower." Or social situations. You notice a new charismatic person in the group is subtly steamrolling over everyone's boundaries. You say something feels off, and they tell you to stop judging. Then when that person inevitably causes a massive fallout, they tell you, "You have a superhero's intuition." It's even in the environment. You hear a mechanical whine in a machine that everyone else ignores. You warn them it's going to break. They tell you you're too sensitive. Then when the machine finally explodes, "Oh, you have bionic hearing. It's your superpower." No, it's not a superpower. I'm just not ignoring the reality in front of me to make myself feel better. I'm watching the train wreck in slow motion, wondering why nobody is stopping it. But when the train crashes, they all act surprised. They never apologize for treating us like pariahs when we tried to warn them. They just give us that empty comment about having a superpower. Well, thank you, but I'd much rather you listened to me when it mattered. Unfortunately, positively toxic people outnumber us by the thousands. You see it on social media every day, post after post saying autism is a superpower, followed by amen and 100%. It's sickening. It's magical thinking that excuses people from doing anything to actually help. They'd rather give us a cape than a quiet office or a fair chance. I don't need to be your hero. I just need you to accommodate my humanity. If you're tired of being told you're super while being treated like you're less than, hit the like button. Let's talk about real support in the comments. I'm David, and this is Accommodate This. If you enjoyed this video, please comment, like, and subscribe to see more content like this, or click on the video here to continue watching.